You're drifting off with WSLP AM, Big Rapids.
Please baseball.
The Northwoods Baseball Radio Network presents Sleep Baseball. Tonight, from Evergreen Field in Big Rapids, Michigan, it's the Big Rapids Timbers hosting the Cadillac Cars of Cadillac, Michigan. And now, the voice of WSLP, Wally McCarthy.
I can't remember, but I don't think I've ever ridden a horse.
And a pleasant good evening to you, friends. It's Wally McCarthy and producer Phil back with you from our home base of Big Rapids this evening. And tonight marks the first time the eccentric junk baller known as Captain Bender, Beans Sorenson, will pitch against his old team. And there's a buzz of subdued excitement in the air. And it is a perfect night for a ball game here in Big Rapids. 67 degrees at game time with a light breeze blowing out to left center. Let's take a look at the starting nine for the visiting Cadillac Cars. Flipper Cortez will lead off at second base. First baseman Philip Nakamura will bat second. Batting third, shortstop Shiny Patterson. Right fielder Gabriel Palomar is in the cleanup spot this evening. Gilligan Parker will bat fifth. He's in left field. Center fielder Fritz Ortega will bat sixth. Batting seventh, catcher Giovanni Gasparo. Shortstop Pinky Slauson will bat eighth. And batting ninth, right-handed starting pitcher Beans Sorenson. He enters tonight's game with the Cars with a record of 5-3, with a 3.92 ERA. The key for Sorenson this evening will be keeping his knuckler under control and in the zone. And he's also got a bad habit of getting tossed out of games. And the Cars are managed by veteran skipper and League Hall of Famer Bud Powell. Those are the Cars. Here are the Timbers. Jesus Ferguson leads off at second base. Batting second, first baseman Keith Castor. Left fielder Brank Filbert will bat third. In the cleanup spot tonight, third baseman Blink Redderson. Redderson is back in the lineup after a 3-game suspension. He apparently slept through his alarm and missed the team bus to an away game in Baraboo. But he's back tonight in front of the hometown crowd. Dutch Moon will bat fifth. He's in center field. Batting sixth, right fielder Randy Chang. Shortstop Rio Nunez will bat seventh. catcher Henny Oldman will bat eighth. And batting ninth, left-handed starting pitcher Javier von Neumann. He enters tonight's contest with a record of 8-7 with a 4.56 ERA. And the Timbers are managed by Earl Gulcher. And before crew chief B.R. Montebianco hollers play ball, producer Phil will pull a name out of the fishbowl for tonight's Instagram winner. You can add your name to the fishbowl by heading over to sleepbaseball.com and following us on Instagram, if that's the kind of thing you're into. And tonight's winner is Jack H. Congratulations, Jack. Producer Phil will be in touch on Instagram to sort out the exciting details. And a special happy birthday to listener Sean Parks. From all of us at WSLP, here's hoping you have the best birthday, Sean Parks. And crew chief B.R. Montebianco has signaled play ball, so we are underway here at Evergreen Field. And Flipper Cortez steps in to lead things off against Javier von Neumann. Cortez is a switch hitter, and he'll bat right against von Neumann. And the pitch. Pulled on the ground to second base, gobbled up by Ferguson, who fires to first to retire Cortez for the first out of the inning. And here's Philip Nakamura with one away and nobody aboard. Lefty against lefty. And the pitch. Curveball down and in. 1-0. And the 1-0. And that curveball is called a strike. 1-1. The 1-1. Slider misses low. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball paints the corner for a called strike 2. And the 2-2. Changeup misses just outside, and the count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Taken low for ball 4. and Nakamura is aboard with a one-out walk. And Shiny Patterson checks in with a runner on and one away. Patterson is a switch hitter, and he'll bat right against Von Neumann. And here's Javier from the stretch. Curveball misses high. 1-0. And the 1-0. Fastball called a strike. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball high and tight. 2-1. The 2-1. And that one's fouled back and out of play. It's 2-2. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a low breaking ball. And Patterson is down on strikes for out number 2. And here's Gabriel Palomar with 2 outs and a runner on first. A lefty-lefty matchup. And the pitch. Hammered foul and into the stands. 0-1. And the 0-1. Slider down and in. 1-1. The 1-1. Fastball misses low. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. And that fastball is called a strike. 2-2. And the 2-2. Hit in the air to deep left. Filbert drifting back. And he makes the catch on the warning track to end the inning. The Cars strand a man on first, and they do not score. And after a half, it's Cadillac nothing. Big Rapids coming up. Here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hey, Cadillac. It's your old friend Beans Sorenson here. Tell you what, it's an honor playing down at Foghorn Field, and it's a real treat to be just down the road from my favorite watering hole, the Pine Tar Lodge. You can come down to the Pine Tar, stop by after a game, bend an elbow, and you may just see old Beans sitting there at the end of the bar. Well, the greatest place you can imagine. Kitchen, it's open late, perfect for after the game. And the pool table is free. Well, unless you're paying old Beans. Come on down now. Visit us, why don't you? The Pine Tar Lodge, official tavern of the Cadillac Cars.
And welcome back with us from Evergreen Field here in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's a scoreless contest as we begin the bottom of the first. And Jesus Ferguson digs in against Beans Sorenson. Righty against righty. And Sorenson's pitch. Fly ball to center field. Ortega drifting back. And he makes the catch for out number 1. And here's Keith Castor with one away and nobody on. Righty against lefty. And the pitch. Bender called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. And that knuckler misses high. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Chopped foul down the third base line. 1-2. And the 1-2. Slider in the dirt. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball called strike 3. And Castor is down on strikes for out number 2. And Brank Filbert steps in with 2 down and nobody aboard. A righty-righty matchup. And the pitch. Slider called strike 1. And the 0-1. Fastball low and outside. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Chopper to short. Slauson bobbles the ball and it kicks past him. And Filbert will be safe at first. And that's going to be an error on Pinky Slauson. Score that one E6. And here's Blink Retterson with a man on and 2 outs. Righty against righty. And Sorenson from the stretch. Fastball high and tight. 1-0. And the 1-0. Breaking ball grounded foul. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Knuckler runs wide. 2-1. And the 2-1. Hammered foul and out of play. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. And that one gets away from Sorenson. That one plunks Retterson on the backside. And he'll trot down to first. And that will bring up Dutch Moon with 2 on and 2 outs. Righty against righty. And the 1-0. Grounder up the middle, past a diving Cortez. And that one gets through for a base hit. Filbert coming in to score from second. And Big Rapids is on the board here in the bottom of the first. And it's a 1-0 ball game. So runners on first and second now, 2 down for Randy Chang. Righty against righty. And the pitch. Sweeping curveball misses outside. 1-0. And the 1-0. And that bender is called a strike. 1-1. The 1-1. Pulled foul and out of play. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Knuckler misses low and outside. 2-2. And the 2-2. Lifted to center field. Ortega is camped under it. And he makes the catch to end the inning. But the Timbers are on the board, and with one in the books, it's Timbers 1, Cars nothing. We'll be back with the second inning in a moment, here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Stay up to date with all the shenanigans of the Sleep Baseball universe at sleepbaseball.com. The latest episodes, news from the Quint Cities, and fabulous items from the gift shop. Sign up for Wally's World, our infrequent and mildly entertaining newsletter. Find it all today at sleepbaseball.com.
Top of the second inning here at Evergreen Field in Big Rapids on this perfect night for a ball game. The Timbers leading 1-0. The Cars will bring the 5, 6, and 7 hitters up against Javier von Neumann. And Gilligan Parker digs in. Lefty against lefty. And von Neumann's pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball misses low. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Hammered to deep left field. Filbert racing back. And that one is going to sail over the wall. And that's a long, lazy solo home run for Gilligan Parker. And just like that, it's a brand new ball game as we're tied at 1 here at Evergreen Field. And here's Fritz Ortega with nobody on and nobody out. Lefty against righty. And the pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Slider misses low. 1-1. The 1-1. Line drive, base hit into left field. And Fritz Ortega is aboard here in the top of the second. So a runner on first, still nobody out for Giovanni Gasparo. Another lefty-righty matchup. And Von Neumann from the stretch. Fouled off to the left. 0-1. And the 0-1. And he fouls another one off. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder to short. Nunez to second for one. Over to first in time. And that's a 6-4-3 double play. And here's Pinky Slauson with two down and the bases empty. Lefty against righty. And the pitch. Curveball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. And that curveball misses wide. 1-1. And the 1-1. Fastball called a strike. 1-2. And the 1-2. Off-speed pitch misses high. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball down and in, and the count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Fastball high and tight. And Slauson is aboard with a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Beans Sorenson in the 9 spot. Lefty against righty. And the pitch. Curveball called strike one. And the 0-1. Fastball misses wide. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Slider misses low. It's 2-1. And the 2-1. Popped up on the infield. Ferguson calling for it. And he makes the catch to end the inning. But the Cars answer back. And after 1.5, it's Cars 1, Timbers 1. We'll be back with more baseball here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hey kids, this is Blink Rederson. I'm here at Ted's Fishing World, and I just want to say they've got some great deals for people that like to fish or wish they could fish. They have reels, and they have lures, and they have bait. RLB, they call it. You can get the RLB special 25% off if you mention my name, Blink Rederson. Ted's Fishing World. If fishing's in your head, trust Ted. Ted.
Ball game tied at 1 here in Big Rapids as we begin the bottom of the second. And Rio Nunez steps in against Beans Sorenson. Nunez is a switch hitter and he'll bat left against Sorenson. And the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Knuckler cut on and missed. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. And he looks at a bender for a called strike 3. And Henny Oldman checks in with 1 away and nobody on. Righty against righty. And the pitch. Slider misses low. 1-0. And the 1-0. Swung on and fouled back. It's 1-1. The 1-1. And he fouls another one off. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Dancing Knuckler called strike 3. And Oldman is down on strikes for out number 2. And here's Javier von Neumann with 2 down and nobody on. Righty against lefty. And the pitch. Curveball down and in. Ball 1. And the 1-0. And he lays off an inside fastball. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Curveball gets away from Sorenson, and it's 3-0. And the 3-0. Slider bounces in front of the plate, and von Neumann is aboard with a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Jesus Ferguson at the top of the Timbers order. Ferguson flied out in the first inning. And the pitch. Dribbled foul down the first base line. 0-1. And the 0-1. Chopper to third. Patterson hauls it in and fires to first just in time to get Ferguson to end the inning. The Timbers do not score, and with 2 in the books, it remains Cadillac 1, Big Rapids 1. We'll be back with the third inning in a moment, here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
$10 3 AV. Specializing in Betamax and multi-regional DVD. The only such service in the Quint City area. $10 3 AV.
Top of the third inning here at Evergreen Park in Big Rapids. The Cars and the Timbers are tied at 1, and Flipper Cortez checks in at the top of the Cadillac order against Javier von Neumann. Cortez grounded out in the first inning. And the pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball in there for a called strike. 0-2. The 0-2. Fastball misses outside. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a low slider. And Cortez is down on strikes for out number 1. And here's Philip Nakamura with one away and the bases empty. Nakamura walked in the first inning. And the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Fastball called strike 2. The 0-2 pitch. Slider low and in. It's 1-2. And the 1-2. Popped up on the infield. Von Neumann is under it. And he makes the catch for out number 2. And Shiny Patterson digs in with 2 down and nobody aboard. Patterson struck out in the first. And the pitch. Curveball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. And that curveball misses low. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Slider paints the corner for a called strike 2. And the 1-2. High fly ball into left field. Filbert will have room. And he makes the catch to end the inning. Javier Von Neumann sets them down in order here in the top of the third. And it remains Cars 1, Timbers 1. We'll be back with more baseball in a moment here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hey there, it's Dana Dedrick, and I'm thrilled to bring you Love Notes, where we blend the best of smooth jazz and relationship advice to create a cozy late-night listening experience. Finding love and keeping it doesn't have to be so mysterious. Tune in weeknights at 10 p.m. to unwind with some mellow melodies and get tips on how to build and maintain healthy relationships. Love Notes, weeknights at 10 p.m. on WSLP, Big Rapids.
Wally McCarthy and producer Phil back with you from Evergreen Field here in Big Rapids, Michigan. Game tied at 1 as we begin the bottom of the third, and Keith Castor steps in against Beans Sorenson. Castor struck out in the first. And the pitch. Tapped foul off to the right. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball misses inside. 1-1. The 1-1. Chopper to second. Cortez has it, and he flips to first to retire Castor for out number 1. And here's Brink Filbert with 1 away and the base is empty. Filbert reached on an error in the first inning. And the pitch. Fastball called strike 1. And the 0-1. Hit in the air to shallow center. Ortega drifting in, and he makes the catch for out number 2. And Blink Rederson checks in. Rederson was hit by a pitch in the first. And Sorenson's pitch. Knuckler in the dirt. 1-0. And the 1-0. And he takes an awkward swing at a dancing Knuckler. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball misses wide. 2-1. And the 2-1. Fastball paints the corner for a call to strike 2. The 2-2. pop fly to shallow left. Slauson is under it, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Captain Bender pitches a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the third, and it remains Cars 1, Timbers 1. We'll be back with the fourth inning in a moment here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Stay up to date with all the shenanigans of the Sleep Baseball universe at sleepbaseball.com. The latest episodes, news from the Quint Cities, and fabulous items from the gift shop. Sign up for Wally's World, our infrequent and mildly entertaining newsletter. Find it all today at sleepbaseball.com.
Top of the fourth inning here in Big Rapids at Evergreen Field. Ball game tied at 1, and the Cars will bring the 4, 5, and 6 hitters up against Javier von Neumann. And Gabriel Palomar digs in. Palomar flied out in the first inning. And von Neumann's pitch. Curveball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. Fastball low and outside. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Chopper to third. Redderson is there, and he fires across the diamond to get Palomar by a step for out number 1. And here's Gilligan Parker with 1 away and the bases empty. Parker had a solo home run in the second. And the pitch. Skied into center field. Moon will have room. And he makes the catch for out number 2. And Fritz Ortega checks in. Ortega had a base hit in the second inning. And the pitch. Fastball high and tight. 1-0. And the 1-0. Fouled back and out of play. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Hard grounder down the third base line. That one is fair and past a diving Redderson. That one will roll into the outfield, and Ortega will be aboard with a stand-up double. So a runner on second and 2 down for Giovanni Gasparo, who grounded into a double play in the second. And the pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball misses low. 1-1. The 1-1. Fastball called a strike. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Big chopper to short. Nunez handles it, and he tosses to first to retire Gasparo to end the inning. The Cars do not score, and after 3.5, we are still tied at 1. We'll be back with more baseball here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
This is Salty Sal of Salt City Confections. In addition to our world-famous popcorn balls, try our bonbons, rock candy, and nut-covered sweetmeats. We're located on the Manistee Riverwalk next to the world's largest cupcake. Salt City Confections, your confection connection.
And welcome back with us from Evergreen Field here in Big Rapids, Michigan. The Cars and Timbers are tied at 1 as we begin the bottom of the 4th. And Dutch Moon will step in against Beans Sorenson. Moon had a base hit in the first inning. And Sorenson's pitch. Curveball misses low. 1-0. And the 1-0. Knuckler in the dirt. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. And that knuckler is in there for a called strike. 2-1. And the 2-1. And he waves at a looping curveball. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle, and that one squeaks through the infield. And Moon is aboard with a leadoff single. And here's Randy Chang with a runner on and nobody out. Chang flied out in the first inning. And the pitch. Hammered foul and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. And he fouls another one off. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Bouncer to second. Cortez scoops it up and steps on the bag for the force. The throw to first is not in time. And Randy Chang is aboard on a fielder's choice. So a runner on first and one down for Rio Nunez. Nunez struck out in the second. And the pitch. Curveball bounces in front of the plate. 1-0. And the 1-0. Knuckler misses inside. 2-0. The 2-0. Curveball called a strike. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Fly ball into shallow right. And that one falls into the gap for a base hit. Chang was running with the pitch, and he'll pull into third safely. So runners on the corners and one away for Henny Oldman, who struck out in the second. And Sorenson from the stretch. Curveball cut on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Grounder to second. Slauson to second for one. Over to first in time. And that's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Captain Bender wriggles out of a jam here in the bottom of the fourth. And it remains Cars 1, Timbers 1. we'll be back with the 5th inning in a moment here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hello, this is Tim at Baraboo Necessities. Where can you go in Baraboo to find everything you need? That's Baraboo Necessities on Berkeley Boulevard. The first 10 customers to come to our grand reopening get a Baraboo Bombers baseball cap. Baraboo Necessities, we've got what you need.
Top of the 5th inning here in Big Rapids on this beautiful night for a ball game. We are still tied at 1 here, and the Cars will bring the 8, 9, and 1 hitters up against Javier von Neumann. And Pinky Slauson steps in. Slauson walked in the 2nd inning. And von Neumann's pitch. Bunted foul off to the left. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball cut on and missed. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Bender swung on and missed. The pitch gets away from Oldman and bounces back to the screen. The throw to first is not in time, and Slauson will be safe at first. So a strikeout and a wild pitch, and Slauson is aboard. And Beans Sorenson will step in. Sorenson popped out in the 2nd inning. And von Neumann from the stretch. Bunted foul. 0-1. And the 0-1. Bunted in front of the plate. Von Neumann has it and tosses to first to retire Sorenson for out number 1. So Beans Sorenson gets the job done as Slauson advances to 2nd. And Flipper Cortez checks in at the top of the Cadillac order. Cortez is 0 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Fastball misses low. 1-0. And the 1-0. Curveball high and outside. 2-0. The 2-0. Chopped foul down the first base line. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Hammered foul down the left field line and into the stands. 2-2. And the 2-2. Fastball high and tight, and the count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Curveball down and in, and Cortez is aboard with a 1-out walk. So runners on first and second for Philip Nakamura, who walked in the first and popped out in the third. And the pitch. Fastball called strike one. And the 0-1. Slider misses outside. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball low and in. 2-1. And the 2-1. Chopper to short. Nunez to second for one. Over to first just in time. And that's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. The Timbers get out of a jam here in the top of the fifth. And this ball game remains tied at 1. We'll be back with more baseball here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hello, this is Winston T. Winston, president of WSLP Radio. I'd like to invite you to the Big Rapids Airport Lounge for a special night of fun and brevity with Frank Gilbert. It's WSLP night on the main stage, and fun is guaranteed for all. The 2-for-1 margaritas go well with the comedy stylings of Frank Gilbert and Fritz Ortega's Supernatural. I hope to see you at WSLP night at the Big Rapids Airport Lounge. Save a seat for me, Winston T. Winston.
Wally McCarthy and producer Phil reporting from Evergreen Field here in Big Rapids. We are still tied at 1 here, and Javier Von Neumann steps in against Beans Sorenson. Von Neumann walked in the second inning. And Sorenson's pitch. Hit in the air to deep center field. Ortega drifting back. And he makes a leaping grab on the warning track. And he drops the ball. Von Neumann hustling around second now. And he will beat the throw. And Von Neumann ends up safely on third base. That's going to be an error on Fritz Ortega. Score that one E8. So a runner on third and nobody out for Jesus Ferguson at the top of the Big Rapids order. Game tied at 1, bottom of the 5th. And Sorenson from the stretch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Knuckler off the plate. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Chopper to second. Cortez has it, and he takes a look at Von Neumann and flips to first to retire Ferguson for out number 1. And here's Keith Castor with 1 away and a man on third. Castor is 0 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Curveball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. Knuckler runs inside, and that backs Castor off the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Grounder to third. Patterson scoops it up and he fires home. And Von Neumann is going to be tagged out sliding into the plate. Castor is safe on the fielder's choice. So a runner on first and 2 down for Brank Filbert. Filbert reached on an error in the first and flied out in the third. And the pitch. Hammered foul and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball low and outside. 1-1. The 1-1. Knuckler high and tight. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Grounder up the middle, and that one gets through for a base hit. And the Timbers have men on first and second with 2 down. And Blink Redderson steps in. Redderson was hit by a pitch in the first and popped out in the third. And the pitch. Curveball called strike 1. And the 0-1. Fastball low and in. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Knuckler in the dirt. 2-1. And the 2-1. Fouled back and out of play. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Blooper into right field. That one falls in. And that will roll all the way into the corner. Castor will score from second. Filbert coming in to score. Redderson hustling for third, and he will beat the throw by a step. And the Timbers add a pair here in the bottom of the fifth, and they now lead 3-1. And Dutch Moon steps in with a runner on third and 2 down. And Sorenson's pitch. And they're going to intentionally walk Dutch Moon to get to Randy Chang. So runners on the corners and 2 down for Randy Chang. And Sorenson's pitch. Hard grounder to short. Slauson has it and fires to first to retire Chang to end the inning. But the Timbers add a pair, and with 5 in the books, it's Timbers 3, Cars 1. We'll be back with the 6th inning after these important messages on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Stay up to date with all the shenanigans of the Sleep Baseball universe at sleepbaseball.com. The latest episodes, news from the Quint Cities, and fabulous items from the gift shop. Sign up for Wally's World our infrequent and mildly entertaining newsletter. Find it all today at sleepbaseball.com.
Top of the sixth inning here in Big Rapids at Evergreen Field. The Timbers lead the Cars 3-1, and Shiny Patterson steps in against Javier von Neumann. Patterson struck out in the first and flied out in the third. And the pitch. Fastball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. And that fastball misses low. 1-1. The 1-1. Curveball down and in. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. 2-2. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a low breaking ball. And Patterson is down on strikes for out number 1. And Gabriel Palomar steps in with one away and the base is empty. Palomar is 0 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Curveball misses high. 1-0. And the 1-0. Fastball down and in. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Fouled back to the screen. 2-1. And the 2-1. Hit in the air to deep center field. Moon drifting back, and he makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2. And here's Gilligan Parker with 2 down and the base is empty. Parker is 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the second. And the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Fastball misses low. 1-1. The 1-1. Off-speed pitch runs outside. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. One hopper to short. Nunez scoops it up and fires to first to retire Parker to end the inning. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Javier Von Neumann here in the top of the sixth. And it remains Big Rapids 3, Cadillac 1. We'll be back in a moment with more baseball here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Hello. You know me. This is Ed Uncle Hat. My good friends at Ed Horn's House of Sleep asked me to drop by and talk to you a minute about their mattresses and other sleep-related items. Beds, headboards, nightcaps, and essential oils. They just added the essential oils last week. Ed Orn's wife, Beatrice, got over there, and she's really into the essential oils. She makes her own. They have a few little tubs out back. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Ed Orn's House of Sleep. You don't need to count your sheep if you go to Ed Orn's House of Sleep. Ed Orn.
The Timbers will bring the 7, 8, and 9 hitters up against Beans Sorenson here in the bottom of the sixth. Timbers leading 3-1. And Rio Nunez steps in. Nunez struck out in the second and had a base hit in the fourth. And Sorenson's pitch. Bunted down the third base line. Patterson racing in. The throw to first is not in time. And Nunez is aboard with a bunt single to lead off the bottom of the sixth. So a runner on first and nobody out for Henny Oldman. Oldman is 0 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Fastball misses low. 1-0. And the 1-0. And instead a toss over to first, but Nunez is back safely. And the pitch. Grounder to third. A diving stop by Patterson. And he tosses to second to get Nunez. But Oldman will be safe at first on the fielder's choice. And here's Javier Von Neumann with a runner on first and one away. Von Neumann walked in the second and reached third on an error in the fifth. And the pitch. Bouncer to first. Nakamura will have it unassisted, and he steps on the bag to retire Von Neumann for out number 2. Oldman advances safely to second. And that will bring up Jesus Ferguson at the top of the Timbers order. Ferguson is 0 for 3 this evening. And the pitch. One hopper to short. Slauson gobbles it up and fires to first to retire Ferguson to end the inning. The Timbers do not score, and with 6 in the books here at Evergreen Field, it remains Timbers 3, Cars 1. We'll be back with the 7th inning in a moment here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
This is the Reverend Ira Gay for the Buck Stop Inn Community Theater. I hope you'll join me for their production of Our Town. The Buck Stop Inn Community Theater. Making things happen.
Top of the 7th inning here at Evergreen Field in Big Rapids. The Timbers holding on to a 3-1 lead. The Cars will bring the 6, 7, and 8 hitters up against Javier Von Neumann. And Fritz Ortega checks in. Ortega is 2 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball misses outside. 1-1. The 1-1. Slider down and in. 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. High heater cut on and missed. 2-2. The 2-2. Lifted into shallow center. Moon drifting in. And he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And here's Giovanni Gasparo with one away and the bases empty. Gasparo is 0 for 2 this evening. And the pitch. Ground ball to third. Redderson has it and fires across in time for out number 2. And Pinky Slauson steps in with 2 down and nobody aboard. Slauson walked in the first and reached base on a dropped third strike in the 5th. And the pitch. Fastball high and tight. 1-0. And the 1-0. Lined into shallow left. And that one drops in for a base hit. And here's Beans Sorenson with a runner on and 2 down. And Von Neumann from the stretch. Fastball misses outside. 1-0. And the 1-0. Slider runs low. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball paints the corner for a called strike. 2-1. And the 2-1. Slider high and outside. And Von Neumann falls behind. 3-1. And the pitch. Grounder up the middle. And that one gets through the infield for a base hit. So runners on first and second for Flipper Cortez at the top of the Cadillac order. Cortez grounded out in the first, struck out in the third, and walked in the 5th. And Von Neumann's pitch. Fastball low and outside. 1-0. And the 1-0. And that's a curveball in the dirt. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. hit in the air to right field. Chang racing over, and he makes a diving catch to end the inning. The Cars strand a pair here in the top of the 7th, and they do not score. And as we head into the stretch, it remains Timbers 3, Cars 1. We'll be back with more baseball here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
This is Gent Fredner, Mayor of Big Rapids. I'd like to invite you to tune in to the Quint Cities Celebrity Golf Invitational, or even better, join us in person. Guests include Galvin McLeod Jr., Blinky Malone, Fritz Ortega. Oh, and did I mention Beans Captain Bender Sorenson? Join me, Gent Fredner, Quint City Celebrity Golf Invitational, only on WSLP.
Wally McCarthy and producer Phil reporting from beautiful Evergreen Field here in Big Rapids, Michigan. The Timbers leading 3-1, and they'll bring the 2, 3, and 4 hitters up against Beans Sorenson. And Keith Castor checks in. Castor has struck out, grounded out, and reached on a fielder's choice. And Sorenson kicks and delivers. High fly ball to Fritz Ortega in center. He's calling for it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. And here's Brank Filbert with 1 away and the base is empty. And the pitch. Curveball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. Fastball cut on and missed. 0-2. The 0-2. Knuckler misses low. 1-2. And the 1-2. And that slider bounces in front of the plate. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Dribbler back to the mound. Sorenson picks it up and flips to first to retire Filbert for out number 2. and Blink Rederson steps in with 2 down and nobody aboard. And now some kind of commotion out near right field. And it appears it's a group of fans in wigs and Hawaiian shirts. And that appears to be a group of Beans Sorenson fans. And they're protesting his recent move to the arch-rival Cadillac team. Let's take a quick break for a station ID while the security team gets this situation under control.
You're drifting off with WSLP AM, Big Rapids.
All right, the Captain Bender fan club has been removed from the field of play. At least they were happy to get a tip of the cap from Beans on the mound. But they'll likely be spending the better part of the evening in the Big Rapids cooler. All right, Blink Rederson is up with 2 down and nobody on. And the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. Driven to left field. A routine play for Palomar. And he makes the catch to end the inning. Captain Bender sets them down in order here in the bottom of the 7th. And it remains Timbers 3, Cars 1. We'll be back with the 8th inning in a moment here on the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
Stay up to date with all the shenanigans of the Sleep Baseball universe at sleepbaseball.com. The latest episodes, news from the Quint Cities, and fabulous items from the gift shop. Sign up for Wally's World, our infrequent and mildly entertaining newsletter. Find it all today at sleepbaseball.com.
Top of the 8th here in Big Rapids at Evergreen Field. The Timbers leading 3-1, and Philip Nakamura checks in for the Cars against Javier von Neumann. And the pitch. Hammered foul and into the stands. 0-1. And the 0-1. And he slashes another one foul. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. And he looks at a fastball for a called strike 3. And here's Shiny Patterson with one away and the base is empty. Patterson is 0 for 3 this evening. And Von Neumann's pitch. Bunted towards third, Rederson racing in, and he will not have a play. And that's a bunt single for Shiny Patterson. So a runner on first and one away for Gabriel Palomar. Palomar is 0 for 3 this evening. And the pitch. Bender misses low, 1-0. And the 1-0. Fastball called a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Another fastball paints the corner for a called strike 2. And the 1-2. Grounder to short. Nunez to second for 1. Over to first in time. And that's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. The Cars do not score. And with 7 in the books, it remains Timbers 3, Cars 1. We'll be back with more baseball here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
You know me. This is Ed Uncle Hat. It makes sense that Lake City would have the finest water ski emporium in the world, because Lake City is the home of water skiing. It's where it was invented. I want to tell you about the good folks at Samuelson's Ski Shop there in Lake City. They got everything you need for water skiing. Skis, cable barks, life jackets, soft shell. You know the drill. Why don't you go on into Samuelson's Ski Shop and tell them that Uncle Hat said hi.
Big Rapids leading Cadillac 3-1 as we enter the bottom of the 8th. And Dutch Moon is due up against Beans Sorenson. Moon has a pair of singles and a walk this evening. And Sorenson's pitch. Lifted into left center. Palomar drifting over and calling for it. And he makes the catch for out number 1. And here's Randy Chang with 1 away and nobody aboard. And the pitch. Fouled straight back and out of play. 0-1. And the 0-1. And he fouls another one off. 0-2. The 0-2. Knuckler runs inside. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Curveball misses just outside. 2-2. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a low knuckler. And Chang is down on strikes for out number 2. And that will bring up Rio Nunez with 2 down and the bases empty. Nunez with a strikeout, a single, and a bunt single this evening. And the pitch. Floater called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curveball down and in. 1-1. The 1-1. Hammered foul off to the left. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Slider in the dirt. 2-2. And the 2-2. Curveball gets away from Sorenson. That's way outside. And the count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Knuckler down and in. And Nunez is aboard with a 2-out walk. So a runner on first and 2 down for Henny Oldman. And Sorenson from the stretch. Fouled away. 0-1. And the 0-1. And that's a pitch out. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, and the runner goes. The pitch is outside, the throw to second is not in time, and that's a stolen base for Rio Nunez. And now the 2-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike. 2-2. And the 2-2. Curveball in the dirt, and the count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Hit in the air to shallow center. That one drops in for a hit. Nunez will come in to score. And that's an RBI single for Henny Oldman. And the Timbers now lead 4-1. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Javier von Neumann in the pitcher spot. And that's going to be Hank Bartok. A righty-righty matchup. And Sorenson's pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. 0-1. And the 0-1. Slider misses wide. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. And he takes an awkward hack at a high knuckler. 1-2. And the 1-2. One hopper to short. Slauson picks it up and flips to second to get the force to end the inning. But the Timbers add another run, and with 8 in the books, it's Timbers 4, Cars 1. We'll be back with the 9th inning in a moment, here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.
This is Giovanni Gasparo. When I was a kid, we did all kinds of crazy things, like stand on our heads and eat a cracker. Later, some of my friends had turned to their drugs, and all kinds of things happened to them. This has been Giovanni Gasparo with the PSA for WSLP.
Top of the 9th inning here in Big Rapids at Evergreen Park. The Timbers on top 4-1. and Gilligan Parker steps in for the Cars against Timbers' right-handed reliever, Wayne Hensley. And the pitch to Parker. Grounder to short. Long throw to first. And that throw is going to sail over Castor's head. And Parker will scoot up to second base safely. And that's going to be scored as a base hit and an error on Rio Nunez. Score that one E6. So a runner on second and nobody out for Fritz Ortega. Ortega is 2 for 3 this evening. And Hensley from the stretch. Slider misses low. 1-0. And the 1-0. And that one is fouled back and into the stands. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Knuckler misses high. 2-1. And the 2-1. Fastball just a bit outside. 3-1. And the 3-1. And that's a slider in the dirt. And Ortega draws the walk. So here's Giovanni Gasparo with runners on first and second and nobody out. Gasparo is 0 for 3 this evening. And the pitch. Fastball called strike 1. And the 0-1. And that fastball misses low. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high heater. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Slider misses outside. 2-2. And the 2-2. swing and a miss on a high heater, and Gasparo is down on strikes for out number 1. And Pinky Slauson steps in with runners on first and second and 1 away. Slauson has ended up on base 3 times this evening. And Hensley's pitch. Slider called a strike on the corner. 0-1. And the 0-1. Looper into shallow left. Nunez backing up and calling for it. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So the Cars are down to their final out as Nigel Hickson steps in to pinch hit for Beans Sorenson in the 9 spot. Righty against righty. And Hensley's pitch. Breaking ball called a strike. 0-1. And the 0-1. Hammered foul off to the right. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3, and Nigel Hickson strikes out to end the ball game. So the Timbers take this one at home by a score of 4-1. For the visiting Cadillac Cars, 1 run on 7 hits, 2 errors. And for the victorious Big Rapids Timbers, 4 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Producer Phil and I will be back with the post-game show in a moment here on WSLP and the Northwoods Baseball Radio Network.